Good evening and welcome to the Jon Gaunt podcast. Thank you for joining me here on YouTube, Facebook and on Twitter. The UK has gone officially mad. And I'm not just talking about Zach, the idiot from the Green Party. I'm talking about the general situation. It's a complete and utter clown show. Yes, there's a by-election today, but we're on the internet, so we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Ian Huntley. Oh, the poor love got attacked. I hear they're setting up a fund to pay for some more people to continue beating him up. Well, that's what should be happening. He should have swung years ago. The government are up to it again. They're lying about the deportation figures. I'll tell you why in a couple of moments. And I can't stop thinking and wanting to talk about, I'm afraid, the Tourette's row. John Davidson, he's got a disability which is called Tourette's, but he's being treated as a second-class citizen. And I never thought I'd say this. I am agreeing today with Stan Collymore, the ex-footballer. I've had many run-ins with him before, but he's right what he's saying about Tourette's, and I'll tell you what he says in just a few moments. But first of all, did you see the Green Party dancing in the street? Our favourite plumber, yes, she was dancing in the street with a Muslim woman. They're going to be different. They're going to change politics. God help us if they win in Manchester and then the gap-toothed wonder thinks he can win and take the whole country. You know, clowns, they're always very sinister, isn't it? I mean, I love clowning. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Love circuses. But there's an edge, isn't there, to clowns? Just like ventriloquists, which I can't say, dummies. There's always something evil about them as well. And I'm tell you, the Green Party clowns have got evil at the heart of them. It's no longer green. I voted for them last time. I told you about this. Because I didn't want to go bodyboarding in Cornwall with turds all around me. I want our rivers clean, our seas clean. I'm into recycling. And I wouldn't want to vote for any of the other parties last time. But I wouldn't vote for them now. They've been taken over by mad extremist Islamists. That's what's going on. And we're getting now in Manchester, and it will be all over the country. It happened in Birmingham. That's why you've not had the bloody Muslim rape gang inquiry so quickly. We are going to get voting on sectarian lines, or religious sectarian lines. And that scares the hell out of me. That's what I'm talking about. The clown show has another agenda. And that poor woman, she's just being used. I put it up on Twitter this earlier that I was going to talk about it. It's gone crazy. Absolutely crazy. People sending me in memes, people sending in comments. I hope you're joining me now in the live show. It's your opportunity to have your say. I'm sorry if the screen's got a little bit fuzziness and there's a bit of green there. Looks like I might turn into the Incredible Hulk in a moment. I do apologise. If it's your first time watching, this is the Jon Gaunt Show. I'm here every night, Monday to Friday. Today's a slightly different programme, because I'm not going full on the politics, although I will be talking about the things that matter to you, because I think it's official. The UK has gone mad. We've got Green Party clowns dancing in the street in Manchester. She's a plumber, you know. She's going to become an MP. She's a thick, stupid woman being used by the extremists, in my opinion. Different issue. We're going to talk about deportation lies. The government are saying, oh, we're getting on top of the small boats. Well, they're not actually. They've admitted the small boat numbers are higher, but they're saying, oh, we've deported 60,000 people. What they don't tell you is most of those are people who wanted to go back and have taken a big fat check off the government to go. Then they say, we're emptying the hotels. They are. But where are they emptying them to? Big army camps in rural locations or houses of multiple occupiers. How can they keep a track on them? They couldn't keep a track on them when they were all in the hotels. This will just lead to more rape, more violence, more more antisocial behavior. I'm not saying they're all like that, but we have had enough of this. They're lying to you again. Oh, we're getting the hotel numbers down. No, you're just moving them about. You can't even believe this, can you? Or are you as mad as the Green Party clowns? Maybe you are. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about Tourette's, because I don't know about you, the way the world, don't do it, the way the world is at the moment, I want to effing swear all the time. I really do. I think it's incredible. And the way John Davidson has been treated, everybody knew there was a film about Tourette's. It's based on his life. You'd have thought, and I know now they're trying to blame the BBC because they put him by a microphone and why didn't they edit it out? Well, I don't think it should be edited out. People have to understand what Tourette's is. So when he shouted that word, which we all know is offensive, right? Maybe it should have been left in so we understand what he's going through. It's a tic which he can't control. Why do you want everything anaesthetized? Why do everybody want everything wrapped up neat and tidy? That isn't the real world. So we're talking UK politics. We're talking about the Green Party. We're talking about Hannah Spencer. She could be your next MP by tomorrow morning. Dancing in the street she was. We're a different kind of party. The joke was, we're a party, we're having a party. Ironically, it was outside a job centre. What a bunch of divs. Talking about Matt Goodwin. I don't want to get into a serious political discussion tonight. Talk about John Davidson. Talk about Tourette's. It's Jon Gaunt TV. I say the world has gone mad. I say the Green Party dancing in the street. Does that mean they're already on drugs? You know they want to legalise all drugs. Not only that, they'll be upset about these new figures. They don't want to deport anybody. Anybody who gets to Dover, any of the flip-flop warriors, they should be allowed to stay. Gets worse. They should be given a house. Oh, they should be allowed to work. I've got some sympathy with that part. And they should be given a tax-free income. Meanwhile, you lot, especially the armed forces, you can starve and go mental in the streets. Who are these middle-class tosspots? And then we've got Labour and Starmer lying about illegal migrant numbers. Do they think we're mad? I think they do. Do you think after a year and a half of bad publicity, Starmer, we're suddenly going to go, oh, brilliant. I knew Shabina Mahmood would do it. They're on top of it now. The numbers are falling. No, they're not. Listen to what they say. The numbers of hotels is falling because they're putting them in houses next to you. That's why. And then, of course, there's the Be Kind Brigade who are attacking a man with Tourette's. This is madness personified. Obviously, his disability isn't high enough up the woke cultural Marxist agenda. No, he's out-trumped. He's out-trumped by racism. How odd that one of those black actors who was complaining is in a film, or was in a film, where they use that word constantly. It's either an offensive word and we stop using it. I haven't got a problem with that. You can't say, oh, it's okay for them to use it. They're reclaiming the language. It's the same with homosexuals. You can't use the Q word, but they can put it in their titles. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. And also, can I just say, words don't kill people. Actions and humans kill people. And the way that John is being bullied at the moment, you should take a long, hard look in the mirror. You so-called liberals, you make me want to vomit. Right, that's it. That's 9 minutes of me. Let's have you now. Get your comments in. We're going to start talking. One of the things I'm asking is, would you ever vote Green? What if a member of your family did? Now, I did do it last time, but they weren't mad like this, were they? Now they're stark, raving bonkers, as far as I can see. Sue me if you fancy, gap-toothed idiot. Oh, I can make your boobs bigger. Oh, I can't do that anymore because I'm now a serious political person. And you know his name isn't Zach. It isn't even Polanski. He's made it up. He's a fictional character. There's also something about him, just like a clown. Underneath that clown makeup, that scares me. And is number two, in every sense of the word, I don't trust him either. Yes, got a view. Let's talk about it. What else are we going to talk about? Yeah, but we must talk about the figures, the immigration figures, the illegal immigration, and Tourette's. Are you getting angry? Because I am. Thank you. Right, simple enough then. We'll get started, shall we? Loads of likes, got 9 so far. Press the like button if you're enjoying the show. If you like the cut of my jib and what I talk about and who I am, please feel free to donate. Dead simple to do. Press that little dollar sign. I'm just checking on Twitter what else you've been saying. Check the little dollar sign and donate as much or as little as you can. We had some great donations yesterday. Or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. 2 guys last night donated 9 cold beers to me. That's 45 quid. Can anyone beat that tonight? I lay down the challenge. Zach, I don't want your money because you should know this now, Zach. I'm just going to tell you straight. I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. I don't want you anywhere near the levers of power. I can't bear Starmer. I can't bear the Tories. I can't bear the Uni Party. But we don't need you. Let's go. Pam Millett on YouTube says, I would never vote Green. Thank you, Pam. You've obviously got a brain. Magpie 1972 on YouTube. I can't believe they've got such a high percentage of people voting for them. Who are these people? Well, I'll tell you who these people are. They're the feral, the feckless, the freeloaders, and probably the foreigners who have just come to the country, and students, of course, because they just see the headline. And Zach is, I'm this. He's perfect, isn't he? He's a gay fella, and he's against air travel, doesn't ever go on a plane, hasn't got a car, all of it, right? It's like tick, 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 tick. He's Mr. Uber illiberal, but not on other things. Look behind it. Look at the man who's second in charge. Look at what they're saying about we don't need borders. Look at what they're saying about giving every benefit they can to the flip-flop warriors. He wouldn't deport one of them, not one of them. The man is a serious danger in my personal opinion. You can have a different opinion. Of course you can. Annette Locke, she's straight in. She don't mess about. Size 9 Doc Martens. Yes, the silly cow looks like what she is, a clown and an idiot. Thank you, Annette. Don't sit on that fence, will you? That's interesting, actually. I'm trying to rack my brains. There's a film where the dummy, the ventriloquist dummy, gets a life of its own. Brilliant film. Is that Roddy McDowall in there? And then there's another film there's quite a few films with clowns where the clowns are the baddies. Just as a side issue. Mention those and we'll put them into things. Don't start Googling and trying to make out you're clever when you're not. You either know it or you don't, right? If you don't know it, don't Google it, right? Greens are the fruit and nut party. I am in despair. The UK is turning into one big fucking madhouse, John. Leanne Tail 7251 on YouTube. You're kind of echoing what I'm talking about. We used to have the monster raving loony party. We don't need it anymore. The lunatics have taken over the asylum policy. Thank you to the Fun Boy 3. That was a great song, wasn't it? Terry, Linval, and indeed Neville Staple. Brilliant song. I don't think it was their song originally. Was it an old jazz standard? I don't know. But it is. The lunatics. Because even in Labour, there's lunatics in charge of asylum. Otherwise, they'd have the Navy in the Channel. They'd have the troops on the beach. And as soon as the flip-flop hits the sand, out. And we would be detaining, and deporting. Don't believe these figures today. The hotel numbers are down because they're moving them in next to you. Or, even worse, they're kicking soldiers out of barracks, putting them there, or kicking people out of long-term rental because they're offering landlords more money to take the invaders. It's madness. Let's move on. Monster raving loony party are the Greens, says Ronnie. Thank you, Ronnie, for echoing what I'm saying. Good man. Green used to mean a hell of a different thing in the 80s, John. This lot are pure sectarian, says Ben Essex 1325 on YouTube. Ben, you've said that more eloquently than me. That is exactly right. The Greens were like, you know, hug a tree, eat vegan crap, don't eat meat, don't travel, don't go on a plane, wear plastic shoes. I used to live with a vegan when I was at university. She was a hunt saboteur as well. I couldn't bear her. Did I ever tell you the story about Lisa and her sister Rosa came over to see me? That's before I was going out with Lisa, obviously. I was just friends of the family. They came to see me in Birmingham, in Selly Oak, where I was living, right? And I was sharing a house. And most of the people I was sharing the house were fine, apart from Judy the vegan, right? She was a nutcase, and she was a hunt sab. And she used to come in carrying big, massive 5-litre, 20-litre cans, you know, that you'd fill up a Land Rover with, full of this shit, right? They used to mix Jay's fluid, that's what it was, and something else, because evidently that smells like fox's piss. That's what she said. And they would go off to the woods Saturday morning and spray this everywhere to put the hounds off the scent. Yeah, then they'll get into scraps with the huntsman. I'm not having a debate about fox hunting, right? But that's what she did. Anyway, we had a little terraced house. And I'm in the lounge of my terrace house and I'm watching Football Focus, right? Through the front door comes Judy the vegan. She's been out since about 3 a.m. She looks like death. Have you ever seen a healthy vegan? No, because the vegan diet doesn't give you vitamin B, so they always look like... They look like undertakers who are poorly, right? I don't know how it's become so trendy. So she comes through the front door, down the little corridor, straight into the lounge. She's trying to get to the back garden. Why she couldn't go around the back, I never know. Probably didn't have the strength to open the bolt because I'm a vegan. Anyway, so she comes through me. I'm watching that fat bloke with ginger hair who used to do Football Focus. Sam somebody. Do you remember him? Big fat bloke. Before Lineker got the job. Anyway, she comes past me with all this smelling Jay's fluid stuff, what's left in the thing, right? She goes, hello, John. I said, all right. Where have you been? As if I didn't know. And I said, oh, this is Lisa and Rosa, Lisa's sister. They've come to visit me. She carries on. She had a fag on. That was the other thing. She was a vegan. She smoked more fags than one of those beagles in a factory, in a laboratory. Fucking hypocrite she was. So she goes out the back and drops her things off. And then she comes back in. And then she says, oh, no, it's not then. So she goes upstairs to where her room was, whatever. No more of it. Lisa and Rosie say, oh, no, John, we're going to cook you a nice spag bog. I said, brilliant. I love your spaghetti, but they got it off their mum. Brilliant cooks. So they go into the kitchen and start cooking up the spag bog. My mate Nigel, who lives with me in Jed, they're up for it as well. Best meal we've had in months, right? We've been living on 26p's worth of liver delivered in millions of different ways, right? So anyway, next thing, Judy tramps back downstairs, fag on, another fag on, straight into the kitchen, and the next thing I hear is screaming, meat, meat, flesh, flesh. So I go into the kitchen, I said, what's up with you? They're using my pans. They're cooking meat. So they're just normal working class girls. I said, oh, I'm ever so sorry, love. I didn't realise it was your pan. I thought it was our friend's John's pan. No, it's my pan and it's flesh, flesh. So they say, well, we'll take it out and we'll wash it. And she grabbed the bloody frying pan like a big what thing and just threw it across the kitchen. I can never use that pan again because you've cooked flesh in it. And she started to bawl her eyes out, right? I think Lisa, ever the pragmatist, said, well, if you're not going to use it, can I just pick it up and pick up all the mince and carry on cooking? Oh, man, the woman was a nightmare. But let me tell you, when she graduated, you never guess what she ended up doing. She became a trainee manager for Bernie Inns, and that's not a word of a lie. She saw the error of her ways. Lovely to be back, John. Sorry, I've missed a few. I've missed your streams. That's all right. You can make up for it by donating tonight. Where we go next? John, if Reform win Gorton, do you think Starmer will keep his job? No, probably not. But it depends if it's Reform. They're saying it's very close. I'm not actually interested in the fucking election, to be honest with you. It's a joke. I just have to look at Bugs Bunny Zach and think, twat. Says Annette Locke. He does look like Bugs Bunny. That's quite a good one. Thank you very much indeed. Mr. Wolf says, Greens are just useful idiots. A Trojan horse for the caliphate. Well, some people are saying that. I don't know whether I agree with it, but you're entitled to your opinion. Right, that's brilliant. The numbers are through the roof tonight. This is what you want to talk about, obviously. Oh, there's something else I wanted to say to you. I've been watching. I watched 2 episodes last night. What's his name? His National Treasure. He was in EastEnders. Danny, and his daughter's called Danny as well. What's the surname? Brilliant actor. You know the guy I'm talking out of EastEnders. Anyway, he's doing a new show about a caravan park, and it's absolutely brilliant. He used to go on caravan holidays like we all did when we were kids. And he says, since COVID and everything, these parks are on their uppers. So he wants to revitalise it. It's a bit like Clarkson's Farm. In fact, it's made by the same people, but it's for working class people. I mean, I'm sure Clarkson's Farm is as well, but you understand where I'm coming from. Danny Dyer. It's absolutely brilliant. And I was going to talk about it tonight, but this has all got in the way. But we can have a quick chat about it in a minute. But I read a review in The Guardian today. Yeah, I didn't buy it on the internet, and it said, gave it 1 star. This woman hated it. Middle-class tart has, probably never been in a caravan. Do you remember caravans when they had gas lights? No toilet. You used to have to put your little dressing gown on, which was never big enough. My mum used to say. Anyway, and then you run across the field to the toilet block, and your toes would get all stuck in the rabbit poo. Do you remember that? Oh, happy days. And you'd bet which raindrop would come down the window first. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'm going to do a program about traditions that we've lost because caravanning was great. And Danny Dyer is doing this show, and it's brilliant. Watch it, and we'll talk about it another day. Let's go on. I've got to be careful here because I'm going to go on for hours if I'm not careful. No one's donated yet. Come on. This is brilliant stuff. And you'll be hearing it all week because they all copy me, as you know. Might be another by-election if Starmer's anti-corruption mates get deported to Bangladesh. What is it again, John? Corruption. Well said, yes, that tulip woman, isn't it? Ben in Essex, they won't get deported. Just like I don't think Mandelson will ever have to face up to proper investigation. And he wasn't going to do a runner. Hold on a minute then. Either the leader of the House of Commons, whatever his name is, the Speaker, he's a liar, or Mandelson. Tough one, that one, isn't it, to decide which side you're on? Huh? Mr. Professional Bullshitter or Lindsay Hoyle? Anyway, somebody told me today that he probably wanted to go there because from there he could get to Brazil. I don't know. Wisely said, John. That's the truth there, said simply. We can't, I'm not reading out that. I know why you're saying it, Saho Gill, but I don't want to read it out, okay? I don't want you to get me taken off air. I've had my career ruined several times. I don't need it ruined again. By the way, how magnificent were Coventry City last night? Hey, they were brilliant. When we went 1-0 down, I thought, oh, Christ, here we go. How am I going to face this tomorrow? And then it was 2-1. And the second half, we played brilliantly. We're getting promoted. No 2 ways about it. Seriously, the future of mankind depends on a tit whisperer and a retarded plumber, says David KT. I don't think she's retarded, but I understand where you're coming from. But she's not. Is she a plumber, really? As I keep saying, I think that she's like Kylie Minogue. She was a plumber, wasn't she, in Neighbours? Yeah? We should be so lucky. And then, of course, there was the other woman, Joanne Good, I used to work with at BBC London. Nice lady, very nice. She went out with Big George at one point. Nice woman. She was a mechanic. Last seen in Crossroads about 35 years ago, going out to get a spanner for Benny, but it wasn't Benny. I tell you it was the guy who had a real Brummy accent. He went on to be a gangster in loads of other programs. Somebody will remind me in a minute. Curly hair, great bloke. Zach the Plank. Oh, Zach the Planksky needs a new barber too, and a dentist. He certainly does. He says, though, if you're picking on the way he looks, you're the one with the problem. That's what he says. That's what he says. Alien Intelligence Agency has just donated £2. Thank you very much indeed. He's just simply pressed that little $ next to the comments and chucked £2 into the hat. Thank you very much indeed. He says it's the best Patriot chat show on YouTube. It's also the funniest. It isn't. I don't know if it's a Patriot show, but thank you for your comments. Anybody else want to donate? Come on, let's get going. Where are we going next? Dean Walker. He has hijacked the Green Party for his own left-wing gain. A real danger to the UK. Well, I think he will be if they get elected in Manchester. I think then it will go to his head, and then, they'll get more funding. I don't know where the money's coming from. I don't know. But they're all throwing the kitchen sink at it, aren't they? Even Reform and Labour. I see the Prime Minister went up for about a minute. Somebody probably called him a wanker, and he ran away like he normally does when he goes up north. Paul Rowbottom, another bastard globalist placed in position. You got Tourette's. Redgrave was in the ventriloquist dummy film. Which Redgrave? Michael Redgrave? His daughter, Vanessa? Or his son, Corin Redgrave. Do you remember him? I think he's dead now. He was a real lefty, he was. I think Vanessa's quite left as well. Which Redgrave are you talking about? Good film. What's it called? Anybody remember? That's Ton Wobble on YouTube. Let's move on. I agree, John. This country has gone mad. Says Jackie Ward. The government makes me mad. People voting for a party who wants to legalise all drugs is mad. Being offended by a Tourette sufferer is mad. Allowing religious slaughter is mad. What on earth is happening? I'll tell you what's happening. All the libtards have taken over, the cultural Marxists, the woke brigade, and they pay no attention to what we want. Unbelievable. I was reading a story today. A lot of the lamb you eat, and I know all New Zealand lamb is now halal, right? I'm against it, by the way. But I'm reading now, they've got tricks. So even if you says it's British or Irish, it isn't necessarily. Why are we allowing this? We've moved on as a culture, as a society. We know that's wrong. We know it's cruel. It's pretty cruel killing animals. Folks, oh, God, careful, John. You're turning into a Green Party man. But it's true, isn't it? I just want them to be treated properly. I've been watching stuff on the internet, on YouTube. When they chop up fish, and massive fish like tuna and stuff. That makes me a bit queasy now. I don't really like it. I'm just being honest with you. Didn't stop me eating it. But I don't want halal. I don't think you have halal tuna, but you understand the point I'm making. The Green, starring Dolly Dimple and Dave the Stargazer, are on the green stuff. Yeah, I think they are. They must be on some wicked weed. I wish I could get hold of it. It'd help me relax, maybe. I don't take drugs. Brew 11. What does that mean, Nick Seeley? Well, I don't understand what that means. Are you trying to say something? Are you trying to be funny? Clarify your point, please. Always vegans with dumb opinions, then they ruin most of the fun. Yeah, well, I've never seen a good-looking vegan. I've never seen a smart vegan. And I've never seen an intelligent vegan. They're all morons. And the way it's become fashion is just like unbelievable to me. Young people, oh, yeah, I'm a vegan, right? You're 5, you're 7, you're 11, you're 12. You can be a bloody vegan, as my dad would say, when you bring your own bloody money into the house. Until then, get that beef burger down here. Get that ultra-processed lasagna down here. I'm kind of taking a mickey a bit now. I've heard that the Greens want to force any homeowner to take in a flip-flop warrior, John. Bank accounts closed down for anyone refusing. Yeah, well, they certainly want that. They want that. But Labour wanted that, didn't they? We should all take in an illegal. Gary Lineker led by example, didn't he? Well, he has got a 19-bedroom mansion. I don't know, whatever he's got. Good luck to him. Talented man. What a talent. What a nice chap. It was in Manchester. I was in Manchester this weekend for the Britain First March for remigration. Wow, what an amazing crowd of normal, decent people. Yeah, but it wasn't on the news, though, was it? But thank you for your comments. Annette Locke, I cannot wait until May and the voting. I'm taking some days off just to greet the Greens and Labour in the community, says Annette. It's going to be epic, and we'll probably get on the news by the time I'm finished with them. When I get out of the police station, I'm going to be famous. Annette, behave yourself. Don't be violent. There's no need for it. Where are we going next? Danny and Danny, really good. Just like Clarkson's film, Their Farm. It's fantastic, said Ben Essex 1325. Yeah, that's talking about Danny Dyer's show, isn't it? I can't remember what it's called now. I should have got it on my phone because I've been tweeting about it today. Let me just have a look. If you've not seen it, you've got to watch it. And like, he's on the verge of becoming a national treasure, isn't he? Because he comes up with stupid ideas, but his heart's in the right place. He's got a heart of gold. And he's basically trying to revive this caravan site. They've got 38 empty plots. And the people who run it, they haven't got a clue what they're doing because their dad used to run it and he passed away, sadly, 3 years ago. I'm giving you the backstory. And so he's come in there, Danny, well, the two Dannys, and they're trying to change it. They're trying to change it. But The Guardian, I read this review and I was rolling with laughter. And I thought, well, I was right, what I thought. Like, so I watched 2 episodes last night with Lisa. And I said to her, that's brilliant. And I had all the intellectual, I'm not going to bore you with that, but why I think it's brilliant telly. And, you know, I've got all the reasons behind it. And then this Guardian woman slagged it off and it was like, you bang on the money again, Gaunty. If it upsets somebody who writes to The Guardian, it's got to be a great programme. That's it. Where we go next? So if anybody else saw it, what did you make of it? British General Holidays were good caravan holiday. Thank you, my friend. Those we used to go to, well, we went everywhere. Skeggy, Cornwall, Devon, Withensea. I used to work at Withensea, which is the coldest place in the world, colder than Skeggy. When I lived in Hull, I used to work there on the little fairground thing they had. But yeah, caravans running across. That's the thing I remember the most. Gas, the smell of gas in them, yeah, because there were those gas lights. Do you remember? Younger people go, what's the on about? And then running across in your dressing gown and your gym jams, bare feet, and getting rabbit shit in between your toes. Oh, happy days. We used to go to a place with the kids like that as well called Croyd. But I'd gone up market by then. I had a chalet, right, which was basically 2 caravans stuck together with a bit of timber cladding. You been in one of them? Ruder Holiday Park, brilliant place. Had some good holidays there as well. Yeah, I was talking about earlier about the raindrops, betting on which raindrop would hit the window first, or hit the bottom first. And Goon Boy is there. He's a working class hero, obviously, on YouTube. Says, or you bet on which window would defrost first. You're absolutely right. Bang on the money. Brilliant holidays. Brilliant holidays. Good rant tonight. I'm enjoying it, says Ben Essex 1325, and he's donated £2. Thank you very much indeed. That's £4 we've got then. Thank you very much indeed. Come on, let's have some more donations. We are top of the league. We are top of the league. Yes, bring it on Saturday. Mr. Robbins and Stoke. Play up Sky Blues, says Caroline Hobday. Yeah, it's going to be some atmosphere, isn't it, up there? You're right. Maggie Morley. If I gave away prizes, if I had any money, you'd just win one for that. She just said, are you talking? Well, all she's written is John Fordham, ? I was talking about the Brummie in Crossroads with curly hair. I'd forgotten his name completely, but I'm pretty sure you're right. He then went on to play gangsters and loads of stuff. What was his name in Crossroads? He was brilliant. Oh, do you want the Amy Turtle story tonight? Because the guy who directed my first my first play that I wrote for telly, well, I wrote a play and then it got made for telly. The guy who directed it was a guy called Philip Casson, right? What a bloke he was. Old-fashioned variety stuff. I tell you what, he was a brilliant director. He was the guy who, in rock and roll, do you remember? Too early for me, this. Do you know in Granada did all those rock and roll shows with the rock and roll stars who came over, Jerry Lewis and all the rest, Jerry Lee Lewis and all that lot? Yeah? He was the guy who invented the idea of let's take the camera off the stand and just move. Doesn't matter that we see it moving. Let's get the real action of rock and roll. That was him, Phil Casson. He then went on to direct many episodes of The Muppets, which is quite apt because then obviously he directed my play called Hooligans. But he did loads of other stuff as well. And he was brilliant. He had always had his glasses on his top of his head like that, proper director type. Get straight guy, but as camp as Christmas. And if you asked for a beer, right, a pint, he'd go, oh, you hairy ass beer drinker. have a G&T. Well, anyway, whatever. Fabulous man. He directed my show, my what do you call it thing. But he used to direct Crossroads, and he told me this great story. He was directing Crossroads, right? And he goes on the buzzer and talks to the floor manager because I don't know who it was. It was Meg. Meg's talking to David, whatever, the posh bloke, or maybe it was the geezer in the wheelchair, Sandy. I don't know. Can't remember that bit. And but Amy Turtle, and if you don't know Crossroads, Amy Turtle was the Brummie cleaner. She walks in the background, hoovering. He goes, "Tell that Brummie cow to turn the hoover off," right? So, of course, the floor manager, who has to be polite because he's not the director, he says, "Excuse me, Miss Amy, could you not hoover? We're trying to hear the sound of what Meg Richardson is saying to David so-and-so about the drama." "Oh, no, it's in my script. I've read the script." And then she points upstairs to where the director is. "I'm only doing what's in the script. Who are you to tell me what to do?" "I'm the fucking director. That's who I am." And they never had enough time to make Crossroads. They didn't rehearse. Well, you probably know that. They hardly built the sets, did they? I loved it, though. It was part of my childhood. It really was. I used to sit at Paul Kavanagh's house. We used to watch Peyton Place, waiting for his mum to come home from work. And we used to watch Crossroads. Anyway, I don't know where I've not seen him for years. But anyway, what's his name, Jim? Oh, no, it's in the script. So he says, "Just tell her to stop hoovering. Action." By now, he's lost it, right? He runs downstairs. He grabs the floor manager, this very effete little young man, first job in the industry. I mean, by now, of course, if it was nowadays, he'd have got the sack for that. And he says, "I told you to effing stop hoovering." Amy walks over. She picks up the script. Can't remember what her name was in real life. She picks up the script and says, "See, it says in the script, Amy hoovers in the background." So he looks at the script and he goes, "You daft," excuse my language, "you daft effing cow, that says hovers. You hover in the background listening to what they're talking about." Oh, yeah, you're right. There's only one O. Oh, I am sorry." Switches off the hoover, drops it on the floor and walks out. Anyway, that's me, Amy Turtle story. You're not having any more. They're not greens, they are reds disguised as green. Michael Redgrave says Niven Casey, and he says the movie is called Dead of Night. Is that the one I'm talking about? I don't know. I think, don't know. Niven, thank you anyway. It's more than I know. John, I think the Greens might win tonight. Whilst it will be a shock and the fallout from the left and the MSM will be about rubbing Reform's nose in it, it's just the opening shots of the battle to come. Well, I agree with that. I think the other problem is, Niven, you can't draw too many conclusions just from this one by-election. And the reason the Greens are getting away with it all is because the main parties have lost contact. I've got a hair. I had my haircut yesterday. Sorry about it. I've got a hair sticking down a minute. Anyway, what was I saying to you? I've lost contact with the public. And that's why Reform will do well in the general election and probably the Greens. So we've created the Greens, really. It's frightening. It's frightening. The sectarian aspect is really frightening. How the Greens get any votes? Who are these people? David KT, the film was The Dead of Night, Michael Redgrave, 1945. Yes, I think you're both right about that. But I'm talking about another film, and I'm sure it's Malcolm McDowell, not Malcolm McDonald, Malcolm McDowell, or Roddy McDowell, one of them, who was also in that film, If. If I've got it wrong, tell me. But I'm thinking of a film that was in colour. I don't think the Redgrave film was. But anyway, thank you, David KT, for your comments. Caravan holidays in the UK. I always thought we were being machine gunned when it rained. Absolutely. Absolutely. The rain on the roof of the caravan. Brilliant. Brilliant. They were good holidays, weren't they? They were. I mean, going abroad and all that. I mean, I've done all of that. I tell you, the best holiday I ever had is when I had no money. Alex, Lisa's sister, she was only about 6 or 7, and Jamie, who's part of the family as well. We all went to a place called Minehead in Somerset, and there'd been some oil tanker thing. So there was oil all over the beach, and it was a friend of Lisa's mum's and dad's who had a caravan down there, and we were skint. So they said, would you like to go? So we all went down, me, Lisa, the 2 little kids, and her dad, who's sadly no longer with us. One of the best holidays I have ever had. You couldn't go on the beach because it was like the Tory Canyon. Yeah, it was like, that was in Cornwall, I know, but you understand what I mean? Oil everywhere. But there was a club and there was a pinball machine. I always remember it was in the corridor next to the toilets. And I taught Jamie and Alex I'm not very good at it myself, how to play pinball. Right? We really needed a deaf, dumb and blind kid to teach us. But anyway, we played there and put 6 I think it was 6 Anyway, it was brilliant. And at night, we used to all sit in the caravan with the rain beating down. You know what it's like in Somerset. And we used to drink cans of Breaker because we were skint. Do you remember Breaker? It tasted of metal. It was horrible stuff. But at the time, we thought it was luxury. And Lisa's mum make a big spag bog or whatever. And we used to have a great night. We'd go and have 1 or 2 pints down in the club and then walk back up the hill. And the rest of the time, you spent it in the caravan with the kids. And they had this game called Humbug or Hum something, where you got a card and you had to hum the tune. And I can't sing for toffees. But at this humming thing, because you can act out what it was, Lisa to this day still says that was the best game that you were ever any good at. And it's the best fun we ever had. We used to have such fun. Went for a week. It rained every sodding day. There was an oil slick on the beach. There was this little club and there was a pub at the bottom of the hill. But I've been on real luxury holidays, obviously, because I earned a bit of money at one point. I don't think you could beat that. Brilliant. So I understand what Danny Dyer's trying to do. I do understand, and I wish him all the luck in the world. And that posh bird from The Guardian, do one. I remember the old caravans with the gas lights, John, said Ben Essex. They had the white covers over them. Benny was in Crossroads. Well, Benny was in Crossroads. I've already talked about it. Hi, John. I'm still waiting for that Clive Owen story. I'm just clearing it with the lawyers. Wasn't it Benny, says Caroline Hobday? No, it wasn't Benny who went to get the spanner. It was that geezer with the curly hair, whose name I've forgotten again now. As a celebrity Coventry lad, we all woke up at 3 a.m., shoved in the car. Oh, yeah, this happened to me as well. I went to Weston-super-Mare or Great Yarmouth. I've been to both. I'm with you, mate. David KT. Yeah, the other thing, my dad and my Uncle Harry, he worked at Masses. They used to write out the route. This was before satellite navigation. I think even before atlases or whatever. They used to write down the route and all the junctions. It was before the motorway. Getting to Cornwall, or that really down southwest, was 12 hours, 8 hours. Wasn't a long time. And they used to write it all down on get a packet of cornflakes, cut off the back of it, and then write on the inside. And they both had duplicate copies. And we'd go in convoy. And we'd always get to that big hill. I think it's outside. I'm not sure where it is now. Anyway, outside Minehead or somewhere, I think. And my dad had an A47. I think they're called A47s, little car. Had those spring windows at the back. So we used to get in, the 3 lads, me, my brother, and my little brother. But my little brother was a terrible traveller. You only have to show him the Auto Express and he starts puking. He was terrible. And he used to sit in the middle because he was the smallest, right? So we'd just get going. My dad's on the fags. Again, he's like a beagle in one of those laboratories, right? All the windows are closed. Suddenly, Jason would start puking. And we'd have to spring open another windows I'm talking about. You got to push the spring. And he'd be trying to get it out the window. My dad then would we'd be on a hill like this. And suddenly the car would stop. And my dad would have his fag on. He'd go, will you fucking stop in the back? And then he'd do the wavy arm thing. You know what dads used to do? Just turn around and try and smack 7 barrels of you-know-what out of you. And then you'd carry on for your holiday. And then my dad and Uncle Harry, he wasn't my uncle, he was just a friend, they would then talk for the next 3 days about the route. So when we used to go to Hull, he'd sit there and talk to my Uncle Jip or my Uncle Arthur and say, oh, yeah, we got through Bawtry. Oh, Terrible place. And Chip would tell you, I remember 1953, we're coming through Bawtry. Men don't do that anymore, do they? That's what you call mansplaining or whatever it is. Terry Wogan referred to it as cross-eyed. What are you on about, Richard? What was cross-eyed? Don't know what you're talking about. Used to go onto the Crossroads set in the old days of ATV. Crossroads and Sporting Triangles was in the same building. Both flimsy backgrounds. Yeah, I remember Sporting Triangles. Didn't they move it, though, at one point to Nottingham? Got a feeling. Anyway. I was in Crossroads. Anne George played Amy Turtle. I hope you didn't Google that. I hope you're just remembering that, David KT. But thank you. Leanne Teal. Listen, let's forget about politics for a minute and let's talk about old TV. Are you talking about the movie with Anthony Hopkins, John? Yes, I think I am. And he had the dummy, yeah? And the dummy got a life of its own. What was that film called? That was brilliant. Interesting news. John just broke, and it says Pakistan and Afghanistan are going at it now. What, you mean fighting each other? I haven't heard about that. I hope not. Edward Clayton played Stan Harvey. I'm sure he owned the garage. That's so long ago now. Laugh out loud. You are right. Edward Clayton did play Stan Harvey. And Stan Harvey had the beard, didn't he? And wasn't Stan Harvey married to Miss Diane at one point? If not Miss Diane, then Meg Richards' daughter. I don't know. King, where are we now? King Callum Jesse P winner, 9388. Green Party are crazy. That's an understatement, but thank you very much. Reform for change. Oh, Steve, we're not doing a party propaganda piece. Get with it. What a waste. You could have talked about a Crossroads star. John Forgham played his partner at the garage, and his wife was Muriel. Yes! Muriel, who suffered from agoraphobia. Yes. Brilliant. You lot never let me down, do you? Listen, we could do with a few donations, though. Come on, this is great stuff tonight. Oh, what did you do last night? Well, I watched Gaunty on YouTube. And what was he talking about? Oh, he was talking about that Zach. Oh, well, what a wanker. Yeah. But then we got talking about Crossroads, Coronation Street, and ventriloquist dummies. People go, what are you on about? When I was on, was it Talk? One of those stations, or BBC London, somebody said to me, oh, John, I don't think you should go from serious stuff to light stuff like that. And, suddenly be talking about something completely different. I said, why not? Well, because it might put the audience off. I said, have you looked at my audience figures? I said, when I need lessons from someone like you, Zach, whatever your fucking name was, I'll ask. Until then, shut up. Just keep putting the callers through, because I think I know what I'm doing. Oh, people in radio, some of them, huh? I haven't got a clue. Somebody else said, oh, you should never say at the end of your programme, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug, and don't forget to tell them you love. That was BBC London. I said, why not? Well, it's a bit unprofessional. I said, what's unprofessional about it? Most of my audience who have kids, they like that. What's the problem? And then they could never justify it, right? They could never justify their poxy, stupid decision. Caroline Hobday, Tony Adams, who played Adam Chance. Is it him, John? No, he was the smooth guy. No, he wouldn't have been asking for a spanner, would he? What would he want a spanner for? Unless he was adjusting the wheels or the brakes on Sandy's wheelchair. How did Sandy ever end up in a wheelchair? Anybody know? We were, maybe still are, the beds. Why were, maybe still are, the beds and caravans so uncomfortable? Well, because it was the kitchen table, you idiot, Niven. And too short. My feet always hung over the end of the bed. And I'm only 5'9". I thought you were a copper. Huh? I don't know. You didn't want the bed that was the table, though, did you? No, you didn't, no. Richard Pope says Terry Wogan on his chat show referred to Crossroads as cross-eyed. Did he? I don't think that's very nice. Don't forget, John, the person responsible for the Manchester Arena bombers is Matt Goodwin, not the Islamic bomber. Oh, yeah. You're sarcastic. Yeah, I couldn't believe that when they said that. That was the Green Party who said that. Yeah. It's not the Islamist nut jobs. No. It's people in reform. Annette Locke says, yes, it's on 2C TV Live. I like him. I'll look at that later. Yes, Pakistan are attacking Afghanistan, apparently. What would you want to attack them for? What is there to get? Jill Harvey, John. Yeah, what about it? Didn't I say Miss Diane? Oh, no. Jill Harvey was married to the bearded. Yes, you're right. I mixed them up. And Jill Harvey was Meg Richards' daughter. And Sandy was her brother. But who? Okay, then. So who was Miss Diane? What was her relationship? Was she just left on the step one year? I don't know. Ah, you're all useless because you've forgotten the best character ever in Crossroads. Also in The Great Escape, or one of those brilliant war movies. Wee Shuey McPhee. Remember? He was the chef. He's only in now and again when he wasn't doing panto in Skegness or whatever. But he was brilliant. Hi, John. Sorry I missed you tonight, but apparently Ian Hunter has been attacked in prison. Some news is good news. Yes, we've talked about that before you got here, Terry. And then now we're talking about Crossroads. Crossroads wasn't a patch on Acorn Antiques. Now, listen, Victoria Wood was a comic genius. And, of course, she did go to the same alma mater as mine. She went to the University of Birmingham Drama Department. She was great. But there wouldn't be Acorn Antiques without Crossroads. And it was a very funny satire of it. I'll give you that. But Crossroads was great. John, I think the movie that you're talking about was called Magic. Yes, it was. Anthony Hopkins. Paul Stentiford 2030. No den tonight. What do you mean? Millwall? Oh, you're talking about your mate who donated the 9 beers. Thank you, Richard. Well, I wonder where he is then. Lowest number in hotels for 18 months. Yes, because they're all in HMOs and in your community, says Nigel Gordon. Correct, Nigel. I made that point earlier. They're commoners again. Oh, yeah, the hotel numbers have gone down. Why's that? Because they're living next door to you. It's easier to come and rape your daughters if they live. It's a joke. Are we allowed satire? I'm not sure we are. Kevin Boxer says Amy Turtle. He's got a picture of a turtle. Yes, correct. Karen Hobday. Ian Huntley attacked in prison. There is justice sometimes. Well, like I said earlier, he should have had the death penalty. He should have had the Saddam shuffle. What's the point of keep? I was amazed how long ago it was. 1989, I heard in the news reports today. And the thing with him is, he was at the scene all the time, wasn't he, giving the coppers ideas. What's the point of keeping him alive? Does anybody... I just don't get it. Terrorism, I can understand. One man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter. But somebody who kills 2 little girls, I don't think so. You can look... No. Come on, how's that work? You can tell by looking at Polanski's face. He's an absolute weasel. He looks like a Disney character, doesn't he? An animal character from Disney. Sandy, somebody just said. I think we moved on from Sandy, but thank you, Kevin Baxter. John, the movie was called Magic, and it was with Anthony Hopkins. Thank you very much indeed. I watched Crossroads. I thought it was great, says Annette. No, this is good. Caroline Hobday says, my hubby says it's John Baines. You tell your hubby from me, Caroline. I know he's a Coventry boy. It wasn't called John Baines. His name was Jim. It was Jim Baines. And he was the mechanic in the garage, which was owned by Vince Harvey. And he went out to get a spanner with Joanne Good. Next thing we see Joanne Good, she's on BBC London. Oh, I tell you what Joanne Good's on. Good luck to her. She's also on This Morning. You know that programme on the telly that the pervert used to present? You know the one I'm talking about. What, which pervert? I can name several. You know who I'm talking about. My parents had a touring caravan. No, Richard. I bet you went to King Henry VIII, didn't you? They had a touring caravan in the 70s with a foot pump for water and a lighting flex wired to the car battery. My dad rigged up. Oh, okay, then. I'll let you off. It wasn't that good. For the TV, he says. I went to the Isle of Man, played golf with me, Stan Boardman. This is my mate, Phil. He's a drummer. You might see him on Facebook, and he's got a YouTube channel. He makes terrible jokes about drumming, but he's a great bloke. He said he went with me, him, Stan Boardman, brilliant company, and Paul Henry. And of course, Paul Henry played Benny. And he says, what a great actor Paul is. And he's also got a fantastic tenor voice. And he's a great guy. I didn't know he had a great voice. Didn't know that. Thank you, Phil. Thank you very much indeed. Annette says, Victoria Wood was fantastic. Funniest woman ever in my book. Can't understand the reason in keeping any murdering bastards alive. Thank you. It's Benny Hill. Is Benny Hill still on the run? I don't understand that, but thank you very much indeed. Benny, and his, oh, yes. And his gypsy girlfriend ended in tragedy. That's right. Didn't they die in a car crash or something? But it was off screen because they couldn't afford the thing. Ended in tragedy in Christmas 1977. It's on ITVX. I appeared in a... No, actually, I didn't. I drove the car. You know when they brought Crossroads back? I won't tell you the story now because I'm tired. But when they brought Crossroads back in the 80s, yeah, it must have been early 80s, Gabriella Drake was in it. Do you remember her? And she drove a red Jaguar in it. And then when I was in Boone as an extra, see, I'm dropping all my names now. I was in that with Michael Elphick. And of course, that guy who was the Brummie, brilliant, can't remember his name now. He played the ex-fireman. Ken somebody. I think his name was Ken in it. Anyway, because that was like Death in Paradise, wasn't it? That was that kind of series. And who else was in it? Oh, the guy who went on to become a big superstar, Neil Morrissey. But I had to... Oh, and Gregor Fisher. Do you know who Gregor Fisher is? He's in 1984, the movie. But he was also, of course, the bald-headed bloke in the Hamlet adverts, not the RSC cigars, but he was also Rabsy Nesbitt. This was before he was famous. What a fabulous man he is. Beautiful man, lovely man. Anyway, he was a gangster and I was his henchman. And I had to drive her Jag. And I smashed it up. And I'll tell you about that another day. You probably heard it already. All I can say is the Tyburn tree should never have been removed. No, I'm lost now. Where was that? Was that outside? And we're going to Blackpool in our dad's Mayflower. Every time he indicated, I'd have to lean out and push it back in on the side panel. Yeah, those are the indicators that come out here. It was a long journey, John. Yeah, I bet. But they were happy days, weren't they? And didn't you have a jumper that your Auntie Jean, when you got there, your Auntie Jean met you and she knitted you a new jumper. But when you put it on, it was like Galen. You had arms like an ape that were so long. And your mum would say, don't worry, you'll grow into it. See, kids haven't lived. They haven't done any of this, have they? And they haven't had hand-me-downs. Kids don't have hand-me-downs anymore. Did you know that? Their mums are too busy selling it on Vinted and going, oh, it's vintage. Second-hand, love. My daughter says that all the time. And both the daughters, they go, oh, yeah, it's vintage. You mean you got it in a charity shop and it's second-hand? But then they take you into it. It's only because I'm so fat, I can never find anything that fits me. Otherwise, I'd be in vintage. UK is seriously done. Greens for Islam. Labour is all just a joke. Finishing on a serious note by Sarah Morris. Thank you, Sarah, for your comments. I've run out of time. You've had nearly an hour. I just hope when I finish on here and I go on to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt, you've all donated a $5 or so on there, which you could do if you wanted to help me out to make the show continue. Or perhaps you still want to press the little $sign and send me a $5 or a couple of quid now. Oh, this is nice. People are saying nice things. Jackie Ward, fab show, 3 hearts. That means I can go. Annette Locke, Tyburn, London John, the hanging tree. Oh, that's what I know what you mean. Where they used to hang people. We've got plenty of lampposts. Do you see that council took down 1,000 flags? Who the hell do they think they are? Great show as always, says ZX Alien Warrior. Now, he did donate. Thank you very much. All right, I'm off. Lisa's cooking tonight. Although when she sees the donations, when she puts down that ledger, she might poison me. And that's the end of the Jon Gaunt show. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks very much. And you've cheered me up because I was real well pissed off with everything today. And that's why I thought, well, I'll talk about all this. And then all this other stuff came out, Crossroads and the rest of it. Thank you. Thank you. Tell all your friends if they want to see a really good show, it's this one. And don't forget, they can watch it live, or they can then go to Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube and watch it afterwards, or they can listen to a podcast. And if you've enjoyed it today, especially when it's a show like this and we're talking about films and we're talking about Crossroads and stuff like that, you might have missed bits because I do go pretty quick. Download the podcast. It's free, just like everything else with Jon Gaunt. Just download the podcast and listen to it when you're walking the dog, and then you'll be laughing again because we've had some good laughs tonight. Thank you very much indeed. Just imagine when we get the phones going as well. This is going to be brilliant. I might even begin to earn a living. Richard Pope's put 3 thumbs up. There's a joke there about somebody out of Coronation Street. I'm not making it. Look, let's all just laugh. You know the joke about thumbs in Coronation Street? End of. I'm not telling the joke, right? And don't you now write it up because that's boring. I'm saying don't do it. Right, that's me done. Thanks a lot. If you've got kids, give them a kiss. Give them a hug. Don't forget, tell them you love them. I will do a show tomorrow, even though it's Friday, but it'll be during the day because I'm out in the evening. We lost a very close friend yesterday. So we're going to have a drink for him. Oh, Mum. That's just the excuse because he would understand. We always go out on a Friday. It's going to be odd that Bill's not there, but we're going to have a drink tomorrow. So I want to do the show earlier because I want to reflect whatever's happened in the election. But it won't be a boring Tom Harwood. Oh, the swingers. Oh. Right, it won't be one of them. It'll be a laugh. Okay, so I'll do that at some point, but I'll let you know. And if you join Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube, then you'll know because you'll get a notification. Right, until tomorrow, until we meet again. Where should we meet? Upon the heath with Macbeth. Anyway, until then, if you got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, hey, hey. Don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.